Hey guys, welcome to a very special video on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. Going to separate it into two parts. Part one, I'm going to talk about the biggest giveaway that we've ever done here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel with some incredibly rare items. And part two will be just a bit of a reflection piece. I just sat here and just spilled my guts on what I was reflecting on over the last 6 years, and to celebrate the 6th birthday, we're doing this giveaway, and there's a few parties that I want to thank. Starting with you, this giveaway is a combination of the support that you've done. I wanted to do something big. I got in touch with a few really rare Carlton related items over the off season, and I knew I was going to be doing some sort of giveaway like this, raffle, we'll call it, for the 6th birthday, and I'm so excited to finally be filming this. But the way in which it's going to work is essentially this. There will be 6 spins of the wheel. We will do this live on the Blue Abroad show Monday, the 29th of April, 2024. So you have about 11 days to get your tickets. And one ticket will get you an entry to each spin. So you essentially have 6 opportunities to win a prize by purchasing one ticket. A ticket will cost $17. You are now getting used to what I'm trying to do with this 17. We're really trying to manifest it into existence. And essentially that's what it's going to be. The prizes that are up for grabs, you will see them on screen now. These all belonged to the great Steve Silvani. We've also got these Carlton pair of shoes here. And we've also got one of the new Blue Abroad hoodies, which basically haven't really technically come out yet publicly, but you will be one of the first to have the brand new BA hoodie with the new logo incorporated. So all you need to do, there's a link in the description below. The ticket costs $17. I'm going to cap it at 10. You can only get 10 maximum if you would like. If you are going to get more than one ticket, that means you will have multiple entries, obviously, per spin. But I wanted to make sure that there was a way in which it was fair and reasonable so everyone can get involved and everyone can have an opportunity to win. And yeah, I look forward to it. More details about the prizes will come out over the next few weeks. So just stay tuned and I look forward to it. Now, let's get into a bit of a reflective piece and look back on what has happened. Today, the 18th of April, marks the 6th birthday. In the way I calculate it, as from the inception of the Blue Abroad platform, fan engagement platform. Obviously, the YouTube channel was first established in July 2019, but Blue Abroad really did begin 6 years ago on this day. There were a few moving parts before it became official, and I remember exactly where I was, what was happening at the time, and when I decided to create the Facebook page, the Instagram page, and that was on this day. So I thought it was an important time to do some reflecting on 6 years. I think because this year is the first year where I sit here and this is what I do now. And so to think back at the beginning when it was all just a pipe dream and really just started out of a need for more content. I was not living in Australia at the time and wanted more than what we were getting. And rather than sitting and complaining about what we didn't have, just got to work to build the thing. And that's kind of the mentality I take with a lot of things. You can either be part of, or we can either point out what's wrong with something or do something to fix it. So then the journey really just went to wanting to document every week until we won the flag, because the year was 2018. We obviously win 2 games for the year and whatnot. And I to be honest, and I'll never know what it's like to be who I was 6 years ago and be able to watch this video today. I had faith that this could happen, But the reality was at the time, there was nothing. There was nothing of note. There was no community. There was nothing. Honestly, it was just me talking into a phone at the time, or writing down articles on a scorum.com was the platform that I was writing on at the time. And yeah, I guess it's important to take a moment to appreciate the journey as you go. So many learnings along the way in so many different realms. I think what I know I've learned about myself, I mean, this is a very personal experience, and it's really weird that there's so many strangers who start as strangers who you've watched me grow up. That's the truth. You know, especially if you've been watching from the beginning, you've essentially watched me grow up. It's a very intimate relationship, and for the most part, we don't even know each other. You know, we can see each other in the street and we feel connected, but we've never really met. So that's something that's really strange. I've always had that understanding that what happens on the internet today will be the way in which we're able to look back in, you know, centuries from today, and my great-great-grandchildren will be able to watch this. And all of the other content creators that are on this channel, their great-great-grandchildren will have record of their family. And then also there's the piece around the story of the Carlton Football Club. And, you know, when the historians in centuries from now want to look back at how do we go? What was the journey like to get there? I think what's been built now is the full fan perspective. I don't think we're missing much, if anything at all. Forget Blue Abroad for a minute. The Carlton content creator community is its own thing. It's literally become its own ecosystem, which is unreal. I've learned a lot about, I guess, the club. I guess over the journey, you have so many interactions with fans, and the fans make up an important part of the club, arguably the most important part. But the reality is, without the players, without the staff, there is no club. Without the fans, there is no club. So there are a few elements here. I think early on, I really struggled to find my voice. I knew how to talk. I was confident in front of camera or on audio, but ultimately I just was being influenced subconsciously, not beknownst to me, but subconsciously by what I had been influenced by and what I was watching, whether it was Arsenal Fan TV, Redmen TV, all the fan channels in Europe or the US that I was studying, and then I guess the greater Carlton community online at the time, and the way that we spoke then. At some point, there was, I think, a growing up moment where I just wanted to be me. I realized that I was behaving in a way which was influenced by what I was brought up watching and the attitudes that I was brought up reading and consuming. And then at some point, I don't really know exactly when, but at some point there was a decision made to become part of what I believed needed to be the evolution. And I still think we're in the very early stages of the evolution of the fans. I think for all the finger pointing at the club, a lot of it was I thought fair enough, because we were not just underperforming on the field. You could just smell the dysfunction and the disconnection. The fans weren't necessarily wrong by what we were feeling in 2018, 19, 20, etc. I think the way in which we got our message across was, it was untapped. It was unhinged. It wasn't too bad, but it could have been better. And I feel like where we are right now is we've never spoken in a more mature way about what's going on at the club. And ultimately I've learned that no content creator exists without the existence of the Carlton Football Club. It's a fact. And so from that point of view, I realized that a level of respect was needed for the club. Also, this is just my style. I'm not an expert. I don't pose to be an expert. I'm really here. I'm a student. I'm a student of this club, and I'm a student of this game. And all I want to do is facilitate discussion, because I think through discussion, that is the power to connecting fans with club. And that is the power that is needed to elevate the conversation. We are a very emotional club. We are emotional people. We're passionate. It is our competitive advantage comes from our passion and the care factor that human beings put into this club because of what it allows us to feel. This club makes us feel like we are a part of something so much greater than ourselves. It's a generational feeling. It's in your bones. It's in, and then you meet someone like a Pommy, for example, who comes to another, from another country. He's hooked into it, and you see, he doesn't have parents, grandparents, uncles, or aunties by blood that were Carlton supporters to pass it down to him. But you see someone like that feel the effects of the club, and that's the magic. And I think we've entered into this critical point in time when it comes to sports fandom and the digitization of the fan, that it's so important that we don't create unrest. I think that's really important. I could be wrong. I'm not right on everything. I just have a hunch based off the information. And I guess 6 years of collecting all that information and really learning about humans, fan base, club, the nuance, how much we know, how much we don't know. I think the more I've learned about what's happening, the more I realize the less I know. We spoke about this the other night. So yeah, look, it's been a wonderful journey. I'm not caught up in where it's going to go. I just want to enjoy it for what it is now, because one day this won't exist and I won't be doing this. So I want to make sure that, we enjoy what we have right now, because ultimately that's all that matters. And, I want to thank each and every one of you for being a part of the journey, whether it's at the beginning, middle, now. People have come and gone and returned. It's beautiful. There's such a flow to it. And there's never any hard feelings about people that come and go. That's just the nature of humans. And so for everyone that's been involved, who watches, who's been there from the beginning, or whenever you came into this channel, thank you. Without you people watching, this thing doesn't go anywhere. I don't get to do it for a living. So I'm always grateful. The content creators that have been born and who I've met through this. I mean, obviously, Pommy was the first one that I met here. It was just a guy from the UK who understood fan channels, and now he's become a real cornerstone of this community, and built his own brand. You talk about the Almost Blues Brothers, you talk about the Jumper Punch, who have literally just gotten to a point where they're ready to fly, stand on their own 2 feet and just take off, do their own thing. Like, that's magical what's happened. And I love that. I love playing a part in that. I love watching that happen. And I mean, it's hard when you just single out, individuals. There's so many, whether it's, young Ethan with thumbnails early, Willem, who's been doing the video edits. There's so many people to thank, but anyone who's ever contributed for the website, for the channel in any way, just a massive thank you and a piece of gratitude. And it's just going to be a constant journey of evolution. That's what this will be. And I don't know, I have a feeling now that we've been doing it for so long, it's always going to be a Carlton fan channel, and it'll always focus on Carlton. But like I said, it's such an intimate experience that we've come to know each other in a different way. And the one thing I feel like has happened, and this is based off a lot of you that I speak to, is harnessing that power of Carlton community that used to happen in, the 80s and prior, especially at Princess Park, and bringing that into the digital world and being one of the first fan bases to really harness that in the digital world is something I feel like we'll be very proud of. But as with anything, when you build something like this or anything in life, and when you have the power to influence, there is a responsibility. And that's where I've always felt a level of professionalism needed to come into this, because it's very easy, dirty little secret, cheap views. You can yell and scream and be angry all the time. People love it. They feed off it. Humans enjoy that. But to be practical, to be pragmatic, to ground your statements in evidence, and to bring some intelligence to the discussion and elevate it and evolve it is something that not many like in the first instance, but in the long run, I think that is what separates a good channel from a great channel, and a good content creator from a great content creator. So that's just my view. And yeah, I think we're in such a delicate space because our words have so much power. Everything we write online, everything we say online, it has so much power. And I've made all of the mistakes to realize that. So I say that from experience, and there's more mistakes to make. But as long as we continue to, check ourselves when they happen, put our hands up, get better, then, away we go. I'm a lot more comfortable now than what I was 6 years ago, because 6 years ago, there was no blueprint for this in Australia for footy. At least now there's a little network of us now in the Carlton community, and then there's fan channels outside of Carlton, which, I can tap into and just share those experiences. So yeah, a little bit about the channel and what's happened, and I'm very proud. There was nothing, there is now something, and that is wild to me. This was, nothing but a little pipe dream, and now there's just such a determination to make this the best and most professional fan channel in the world. That's ultimately what drives me, and more than anything, just enjoying it. Because at the end of the day, I would be doing this and talking Carlton whether this channel existed or not, and that is important. That's a really important part. And what happens after the flags come, I don't know. I don't think I'll be here forever. In fact, you won't be here forever. Your time here is limited. Whether that's in life or whether that's in whatever work you're doing. I don't think I'll be doing this forever, but that is why I enjoy it so much. And I think now that the club in particular has started to finally come to fruition a little bit, the job's not done. There's a lot more to go, a lot more improvement. But as it stands right now, in this moment, compared to 6 years ago, the hope was that we would be riding the wave of the club figuring its shit out and getting back to resembling something of a great football club. And I think we are, for the first time, starting to see that. And that's based off what we've seen in the last, 16 to 18 games. So I hope it's not just a 16 to 18 game stretch. I hope it goes and continues for a couple of years. And yeah, just really grateful that we actually got to experience some more shitty times together, and it took a little longer. I have a different appreciation for the patience factor. I didn't have it. I panicked, particularly in 2020 and 2021. I completely panicked because I thought we had ruined it. And yeah, now I have a greater appreciation for the patience and the journey of it, probably because we got to see a little bit of finals footy last year, and that whet the appetite, and you sort of, finally there's memories, core memories, rather than talking so much about decades in the past. So yeah, those are some of the things that I reflect on in this moment in time. And yeah, I can't thank you enough for being a part of this. We've all enjoyed it. It's all been therapeutic for us. It's been something that we can agree with and disagree with. There is no right and wrong with this. There just is. And I think that's really important. Sometimes we can get caught in the back and forth. I know I can. But ultimately, I'd like to think that we always find our way back to center. And that's important. And that's what's going to help us move forward. And yeah, I think we have a better connection to the Carlton Football Club than what we did 6 years ago as a channel, which is great. And I hope that continues. Ultimately, this is an independent channel. It's never going to be, this will never be something that is ingrained inside the club. It can't. That's the whole point of it. It can't. It has to be independent. But there is a reality where it lives in parallel with the club. And I think when we get that alignment perfectly set, that's when we unlock another competitive advantage, because the online space is its own realm. And I do believe we lead that in footy fandom, in digital footy fandom. I believe Carlton leads that. So we just got to make sure we stay up the top now and don't get complacent like what they did a couple of decades ago. So we're moving to the future. And if you have anything you'd like to share from your experience over the last 6 years, please do. And thanks again for helping celebrate the 6th birthday. And I look forward to the next period of time, however long that's going to be. I'm going to enjoy every single second of it. And when we win that flag, like, we're going to have the ultimate documentation of the entire journey for the rest of eternity to see. So enjoy yourselves. Thanks again. Love you. Go Blues.